Perfect, perfect. Well, Mr. Jamie, I know we talked a little bit before we started this, but I appreciate you being here this morning and doing this case study call with everybody. We'll kind of open it up though, just letting you introduce yourself, tell us a little about who you are and about your church.
All right. So my name is Jeremy Peters. I am the pastor of Maranatha Baptist Church in Princeton, West Virginia. Maranatha Baptist Church is a pretty well-established church. I think we were started back in the 1960s. And I am the fifth or sixth pastor in the history of the church. And so the church is when I came here, they understood that we're largely an elderly congregation, and if we don't begin to do the things necessary to reach younger generations, that the church is a generation away from dying. And so the last few months, I really began to know the people and figure out what was going to be our best path forward. And I knew of you in the past, and so in December I started recommending that we start looking at the digital outreach. When I said that, my deacons looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" And I told them, I said, just trust me a little bit, and let's try this out. And we did, and we saw some incredible things happen. So.
Awesome. Yeah, when it comes to, it's funny you say that because we'll have churches tell us that all the time. They'll be like, yeah, present it to the deacons or to the older folks in the church that are on the boards and stuff. And like, it's pretty difficult because they have no idea at all what
Yeah.
digital outreach is. It's just not there. They just don't understand any of it.
Right.
So it is hard to present sometimes. But like, yeah, a lot of people, when you say digital outreach, they automatically just think of like a church website, like, oh, we have a church website,
Right.
preacher, or we have a live stream, or something like that. But yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, let's get a little descriptive of kind of what y'all did as far as, the special day y'all had. Y'all had a great turnout. The Lord really blessed. And we'll obviously, we always caveat with that as far as like, is just emphasizing that this is, not a get growth quick scheme, but God has to bless. God has to give the increase. We know that anything we do for God is just a tool, but y'all had a great increase. God bless y'all's service. So, I want you to just kind of describe what the service was, what y'all had going on, and just give us a little bit of experience of what y'all seen.
Absolutely. So we hosted a friends and family Sunday. I led off our theme this year in our church is each one reach one. I've been encouraging every person in the church to reach somebody for Jesus. And I told them, I said, sometimes that you may not be able to actually win them to Christ yourself, but bring them to church. And I told them we were going to have this friends and family Sunday. I said, who better to reach than your friends and your family members? And so again, in the history of the church, we had never done an outreach Sunday like this. And so this was really a brand new concept. I mean, just across the board, digital outreach, friends and family outreach Sunday, all of that was brand new. But every Sunday leading up to Friends and Family Sunday, I was preaching on this theme of each one reach one, and reaching somebody with the gospel and preparing the hearts of the people so that on that Sunday and then beyond that Sunday, we'd be prepared to reach people with the gospel. So we launched our ad campaign, and really, other than filling in the blanks of the script, we used the script that you put out word for word. I recorded a video, and then I had a lady in the church record a video. She's our school administrator. And then I had one of our teenagers record a video. And again, we just really went through and kept it spot on with what you gave us. We felt like we were learning, so we just keep it right there, keep it on that channel. And so they did a great job with the videos, and then we put the videos up with all of the copy that you recommended to us. And I recommended the church because this was the first time that I had actually used the program, and so I didn't know what to expect myself. I knew it would work, but I had no idea what to expect myself. And so I told the church the Sunday before they were going to go live on Monday, I said, now, if you happen to see these videos, share them. Well, by Monday, I'm gonna tell you, the registration started coming in. I mean, I think that first Monday we had received 35, 40
Wow.
registrations just in that first day. And so my heart was just thrilled. Monday's always my day off, and my phone is now just exploding with updates about this campaign, and people responding to the automated messages that go out, and I'm able to respond to them. And I didn't get much rest that day because I was so excited, so thrilled at what was going on. But then when I go on Facebook, I also saw my people, like when they saw the ads, they began to really wrap their minds around, oh, this is what Pastor was talking about. This is what we're doing. And through the whole month, my people were so good at sharing them and inviting. We printed up some postcards, and we didn't mail those out, but I got 2,500, and we had our people just all over town, everywhere they went, just passing those out. Leaving
Amen.
them up on community bulletin boards. When the people saw the ads, they really began to wrap their minds around what was coming, and they were excited about it. It went from this, what is Pastor talking about, to okay, we're on board. And
Yeah.
then later on they told me, like, after it was all done, like, Pastor, we still had no clue what you were doing, but now that we've seen it, we're on board. Let's do this again. And so that month leading up, I noticed an uptick in my congregation. Anyways, I noticed an uptick of people asking, "What can I do to help you prepare? What can do?"
Amen.
So what we did is on Friends and Family Sunday. We had our regular Sunday school. We didn't advertise our Sunday school, but we had a regular Sunday school. Then we had our 11 o'clock service, and then immediately following, I love to smoke meat, and I've got a great big smoker my wife bought for me for my birthday, and I thought I could get all the meat on there. I Of the 20 pork butts that I got, I was able to get 15 on the smoker, and we ended up cooking the others another way and just kind of mixing it together. But we advertised that we were doing Texas barbecue, and made that up, and then I rented some bounce houses. We've got a gym. I've got a Christian school here at our facility, and so we've got a gym next door. And so we set the bounce houses up there, and the food, and then we asked my people to volunteer to bring the sides and desserts and all of that kind of stuff, and they did. They stepped up with that. They helped me really clean up the property and get flags hung outside to advertise and everything. And so and then unbeknownst to me, some things that our people did, they went out and bought from like outreach.com, bought welcome signs, and they put our
Amen.
teenage, I didn't know this was going to happen, but they had our teenagers out and about with the welcome signs, welcome to church and everything. And people thought that was such a nice, and I thought it was great,
Yeah.
but just at every level of our church, I had some of our people volunteer to stand at the doors, men just standing there greeting and folksying with people, and ladies there helping to get kids to nurseries and other places that they needed to go to. But we had like just so much of our church just got on board to get plugged in and serve in some way. And so when it came time for the service, you know, couple of weeks now, our area has been really hard hit by the weather here recently, lots and lots of snow. And so a couple of weeks ago, we had nice weather. We had a high day, like really good day of 196. Then the next week, 197. And I thought, praise the Lord, we're growing. Even before Friends and Family Center, we usually average right around 170. And the very next week, we experienced some devastating flooding here, and we were at like 65. And this is the Sunday before Friends and Family Sunday. We've got 65 people in church, and I'm praying all week, like, God, we need sunshine, and we got a snowstorm that week. And I said, God,
Oh
we need
man.
sunshine. We need beautiful weather. Well, it was sunny and in the mid 40s to low 50s, and people showed up. We had 320 people in church on Sunday. 7 people walked
Wow.
the aisle and got saved, and we've got people lined up to be baptized this week in our services, and we've had a lot of follow-up work to do. I praise the Lord for every one of them that came, but obviously our goal is to now follow up with them and disciple them and connect with them. We've already seen some really good things happen because of Friends and Family Sunday. We gave away in our ad, we said that we have a gift for you. I went out and bought a special printer and heat press, and like the metal tumblers. We custom printed those metal tumblers. All in cost was just under $4 per cup that we ended up making, and we gave those away. But people thought that was just really really neat, and
Yeah.
so that was the gift and the special things that we did, and all of that, and it really it was just a fantastic service.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's great about like the kind of the signs and the
Oh
different
yeah.
stuff on that day, like all that stuff. Like it's amazed. You'll be amazed at how much people notice visitors impression wise when they first get there. The first things they see,
Yes.
and all that stuff plays into those first impressions. Yeah. So just out of curiosity, I know you said you mentioned you had like 300 something there on that day. About how many? Do y'all have an idea about how many like first time visitors y'all know came from the ads and stuff?
So, based on the numbers that I've seen so far, we had somewhere, and it's kind of hard to pin this down right now,
With
but I
that high
believe we
volume.
had about 125 first time visitors from that ad in every area of our church. We have a small bus ministry. Our bus ministry grew. Our nurseries were up. Our children's churches were up. Our Sunday schools were up. Every area of our church grew because of it. But I believe all in, we had somewhere right around that 125 ballpark of first time visitors.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think once you get like past 50 first time visitors, it's hard to track like with
Yeah.
these
Oh yeah.
ads. Like we have churches like, yeah, they'll have 90 for like, matter of fact, 125 just around their first time visitors. I think that's the most we've ever seen from these ads.
Oh wow.
We've seen 108 before at one church, and that was like the record that we've ever seen at one service from these ads. Obviously, over a long period of time, like we have some churches they've seen like 400 in a year,
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
But like for like one service, yeah, the highest we've ever seen was 108. So your church is, kind of the highest now that's kind of
Wow.
crossed that record. But yeah, 125, that's fantastic. But yeah, once you get past 50, churches like they'll say it like it's hard to really, nail down the exact number once it starts getting so high, because you got families with multiple people in it, different things, and it
Right.
gets a little difficult.
And then, I mean, we give out at the beginning of the service, we give out the visitors cards and everything. And when you have that many moving pieces, that not everybody. I mean, here's the stack of visitor cards
Yeah,
from this last week, and I know that not everybody turned them in.
yeah,
And so, but I mean, we captured a lot of information, and we're doing a lot of follow-up work. And so, you know that there's going to be some that just don't. And so we're praying that they come back and all of that. But yeah, we were able to capture a lot. So we feel pretty confident we're right in that ballpark.
yeah,
In fact, I think I'm being a little bit conservative, if I'm being honest with you. I think we may have been just a little bit over that, but that's what I feel safe,
for
comfortable
sure.
saying.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And even if it was 20 visitors, to
It'd
me,
be
that's awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, 20,
Absolutely.
but 100, yeah, that's like, breathtaking for most churches. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of churches that have never seen that a day in their life,
Yeah.
100 first time visitors. I tell, people all the time, like, even if like for most churches, I mean, maybe larger churches in a larger area, you might see a Sunday where you have 20 first-time visitors just regularly or something from different.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you don't just see 20 first-time
No.
visitors to one service. You know, that's just not normal. And so yeah, I think over 100 is just a miracle from God. I mean, God blessed and done a great work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, other than that, like, you know, I appreciate you getting on here. That is awesome experience and stuff. Just before we do go, you know, as far as like just your opinion of the digital tract ministry, you know, one of the reasons we do these calls, and I explained it to you earlier, is to really just, you know, help churches, pastors and stuff that learn about the digital tract ministry, and they'll be watching me say this right now. We talk to pastors all the time, and everybody always tells us, especially after they do it, man, I was so skeptical at first because you've never done them before, you know? And so that's one of the reasons we do these calls, is to help pastors that are
Yeah.
skeptical, that are, you know, well, what if this doesn't work? You know, how do you know what I mean? Or is this even real? You know? So like just your experience of what you think. Do you think digital tracts are something that's needed in church outreach today, especially in the world that we're living in, you know, post COVID, all this kind of stuff? Do you think this is a pretty vital ministry that if churches can do, they ought to do? What do you think?
Absolutely. The easy answer is absolutely yes. I'll tell you where now I'm a tech person, so it was very easy for me to begin to wrap my mind around it. Where my question was is it made sense in a you know, in a big area that oh yeah, this would make a lot of sense in a big city. Um, my church is in a small area. Our county has just over 50,000 people. My town, 9,000 people in the town, 12,000 somewhere in that ballpark. We're in a very rural area, and so I think that's where my, I don't want to say skepticism, but my concern is that maybe it wouldn't work as well. I expected we'd see some visitors. Um, I fully expected that. Did I expect what we saw? Absolutely not. I remember praying Saturday night, saying, "God, I don't even know what to ask you for, but just show up, just show us that you're at work, and we'll rejoice in what you've done." And so because we're in a small area, that was my bigger concern. But I got to tell you, I would recommend this if I were in a large city, if I was in a mid-sized city, or in a small little rural area like what I'm in right here. It works.
Yeah.
We are in a post-COVID world, and I grew up door knocking, and I love door knocking. That I could tell you some stories about all of my door knocking experience. And I still do that, but in a post-COVID world, people don't answer as much as they once did. And so through their phone or through their computer screen, this allows us to get into their home, and just a really high impact 60-second video. And in our campaign, we had 150 registered, but in those, it was, you know, a family here, a family there, that led to just so many. I mean, if everybody would have showed up, we'd have had over 400 guests here. Uh,
Wow.
I knew that wasn't going to happen, but now we've got all of that we can follow up on, and these are people now. I feel totally comfortable, and I've seen that my church, where they may some may feel some fright about knocking on a door cold. These are people that have reached out to the church. They've either been here now, or they've expressed interest in the church. And so my people, the opportunity to follow up with them, they feel a lot more comfortable as well in our follow up going forward. And so I would recommend, if you believe in outreach, which if you're a church you should, if you're not doing digital outreach, you need to get on board as soon as
Yeah.
possible, because I believe, you know, there was a day that handing out a gospel tract probably wasn't something that we did. In fact, if you study history, you'll read about that, like in the days of Tyndale, but before Tyndale, that didn't happen. So there was a time that handing out a gospel tract was brand new, and he
Yeah.
was criticized for that. Well, we're in an age where everything is changing, and the things that it's going to take to reach people, it's going to take some new methods and things. We don't change the message, we don't change the gospel, but some of our methods have got to change if we're going to continue to reach people. And so I'd recommend any church getting on board with this. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. Just a caveat of a couple things you said that I thought were very good and beneficial. Area wise, that's always another big question. Will this work in my area?
Yeah.
We're in, like a liberal state or something. We're in California, or we're in Maine, or we're in a rural area, very popular area. Will this work in our area? And yeah, that's always a big question. And you answered it spot on when it comes to Royal. Even our church, like we're in a town of 1,000. Our whole county might have 16,000 in it.
Yeah.
So we're very small, area wise, community. But like we run these ads for every Sundays the past 2 months at our church. We've seen like 11 first-time visitors in the past
Wow.
three or 4 weeks, just like for every Sunday services at our church. And so like we just like you said, we believe in door knocking. We go door knocking. We go door knocking
Yeah.
every week. We go every month as a church, like wide door knocking. A couple things about door knocking. I don't care what anybody says. It's like pulling teeth to get Christians to go door knocking.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a small crowd, and the crowd that you do have, you can only reach a certain amount of doors a day, so a certain amount of volume of people. So I'm for door knocking, but just in us running digital tracts in the past year, we've probably seen 4 times the amount of visitors
Yeah.
that we've seen door knocking in the past 6 years that we started our church. And that's door knocking every week. Like, so the issue is, it's not that door knocking is bad. It's good. Do it. There's nothing wrong with it. This is just
Right.
adding to it. This ain't to do away with door knocking. But when it comes to, like what you said, we're in a world that is transitioning. Methods do change. They always have. And digital, the world is going digital, and it's not going away. People want to go away. They want, what I mean? They want, like, I agree, like digital things can be bad for sure, but it's just not. It's just going to
Yeah.
get worse and worse. Everything's just getting more and more digital, and that's just the world we're living in. And yeah, if we want to reach people where they are effectively, I do think digital outreach is as far as just digital, anything digital is going to be one of those ways that is going to do that,
Absolutely.
But anyways, well, man, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the call, just talking to you. I think a lot of valuable information has been given out, and yeah, at the end of the day, for anyone that watches, the goal is just to reach as many people as you can with as much as you can. It's just another hook in the water, another tool to use for the glory of God. It's been amazing what God's been doing with it for churches all across the country. And I believe the Lord will probably bless it for your church too if you tried it out. So, but anyways, well, Mr. Jeremy, I appreciate your time. Thank you again for getting on here, and you have a blessed rest of your day.
You too. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.